if you have been looking for the perfect makeup routine, that's not too heavy, that's not too much, but it's still flawless, you are in the right place today, okay? In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to do my full makeup routine from start to finish. And this is the face that I constantly get compliments on. And it's not too heavy, it doesn't feel like it's too much, but it is still flawless. Welcome back to the Polished Perfection Beauty channel, where we discuss makeup, beauty, and confidence. My name is Misha, so let's get right into it. So first, with any makeup routine, you have to start with skincare, all right? So I'm just gonna do my skincare. I am going to start by cleansing my face. I've already washed my face, but you know, let's say I washed my face, but then I went out and did things, right? As another kind of cleanser without having to use soap, water, and everything, you can use micellar water. So I just put a little bit of micellar water on my cotton pad, and I'm just going to apply that so that my skin is fresh. Next, I'm going to use a toner, and I have been really enjoying the Thayer's toner, and I'm actually trying out 2 of them today because I'm gonna add them to my makeup kit. So I am trying out the Rose Petal toner to see which one I like better, and also the Milky Hydrating toner. You can get this at like CVS, Target, Walgreens, Walmart. So now I'm going to apply my toner. All right, so I really like this Hydrating Milky toner. If you would like a video on my skincare routine, definitely comment below and I'll make one of those, okay? So next I am going to apply moisturizer. And then lastly, I'm going to apply my primer. So next we are going to do our brows. And I use this Wet n Wild eyebrow pencil that I found at CVS for like, I think it was like $4. And it's doing the job, okay? Usually I'll use the NYX brow pencil, the one that you twist up, but that thing is like $10, y'all. So when I feel like buying it, then I'll get it because that's the one that I really, really like. But this one, this Wet n Wild is getting the job done, okay? So I am just adding that on. And for me, I have my brows micro shaded. So, well, it's like combination brows, micro shaded and micro bladed. So I don't have to do very much. So I'll just fill in the parts that are a little light, because you know, micro shaded brows they're semi-permanent. So they start to, over time, fade. So I am adding those. Okay, so right here, you are going to use the spoolie part of your pencil to blend your eyebrows out. After you have filled them in, use the spoolie part to blend them out. So now I'm just going to clean it up, and also I'm going to prep my eyelids for my eyeshadow. So what I'm going to use for that today, I'm just going to use my concealer. The concealer that I use under my eyes, and I actually use this Color Pop concealer, #1, because the color is like spot on for my skin tone, the dark 145 warm shade. So I'm also going to use that on my under my eyebrows. Okay, so I'm just going to apply that like right under. And I am going to take, so the brush set that I'm using, I am highly recommend this. I recommend this to all of my coaching clients, but it is the Morphe Best of Blends brush set. It literally has pretty much all the brushes that I use. It has all the brushes that you would need to have to be able to do a full face, except for one brush that is missing that I bought alongside it in the same brand. Definitely, if you need a brush set and you like the way that I apply makeup, get this Morphe Best of Blends brush set, because it literally has everything that you need. I am going to take my brow brush and I am going to use this. that it has this like pointy slanted end. And I'm going to use that to push the concealer up under my brow, okay? So I am now pushing that concealer up under my brow and just cleaning up where I want it to be clean. Now, my brows are done, as in I, you know, got rid of any extra hair up under them, but I still want my brows to be, but I still want it to be very like clean, very crisp, the same tone. So I'm just pushing that concealer up under my brow, okay? And I'm gonna pull it down my eyelid. All right, and then I'm going to use the concealer brush, the Morphe concealer brush, and I'm gonna use that to pat that in, okay? And it blends it right into my eyelid perfectly. All right. So now I'm gonna do it on the other side. So this is a MAC concealer and it is in the shade, I actually do not know what shade this is. I wanna say it's NW40. Yeah, I wanna say that it's NW40, but this concealer, it has like a red undertone to it, and what this red orange undertone in this concealer is going to do is to cancel out the dark spots on my face, okay? So you see I have some like hyperpigmentation, acne scars. Putting this under my foundation and on top of these dark spots is going to really cancel out that color, those dark spots and that color, okay? I'm just going to use that same brush that I used for the concealer under my brows. And I am going to apply that, okay? If you have dark circles under your eyes, you have dark circles around your eyes, you could use this for that as well. You could also use just an orange corrector. And sometimes you may see that when you are looking at makeup, you may see like a orange concealer, orange corrector. You can also do the same thing. And you're just gonna like press that into the spots. All right. And as you can see, those spots are like, you can't even really see them. So now I am going to take this foundation stick. And again, this is all just color correcting, okay? If color correcting is optional, you absolutely don't have to color correct. If you don't have hyperpigmentation, if you don't have different, you know, darker spots on your face than other parts of your face and things like that, you can completely skip this step, all right? But I'm going in with this Bobbi Brown foundation stick. And again, I bought it thinking that it was my skin tone, and it's just slightly warm on my face. So because again, it has this like red orange undertone, I am just going to use it. Now my skin is a little bit darker right around my mouth, and different people have spots on their face that's a little bit darker. And what happens if you just put foundation on top of that, it'll now come through gray, right? It'll come through kind of like with a gray cast, gray undertone, and I do not want that. So in order for my foundation, again, to go on one tone and not change color, I'm using this on top of these dark spots to start to kind of cancel out that darkness, okay? So I'm putting this right around my mouth where my skin tone tends to be a bit darker, all right? Just right there. All right, and I'm going to take my foundation brush, and I really like these brushes because on the brush, it tells you what kind of brush it is. It literally says foundation or eyebrow or concealer. So if you get these brushes, I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to follow along with me, all right? So I'm gonna take the foundation brush and I'm just gonna buff that in. Gonna buff that in. I'm gonna buff in where I added that concealer. All right, so I'm going to now put on my foundation, and this is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydrolux Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation, and oh my god, I love it. It is so like bouncy, like I don't know, I can't describe it, but it like literally feels like it's bouncing on my skin. Can't explain it, but it is just really good. All right, so I put some on my palette and I'm just grabbing some and now going on top of my face with that, with my foundation brush, okay? All right, I'm going back in with some more. And I probably use like a pump and a half, but I'm actually about to go, probably gonna have to use about 2 pumps to, well, wait, let's see. All right, putting it up my nose, around my eyes. Actually, no, I don't think I'm gonna go in with 2 pumps. I'm just going to try to evenly spread out what I have, all that's left on my brush. And again, you see how I am patting it into the skin? I'm not swiping, I'm not brushing, I'm patting, okay? All right, so now we put on our foundation. We got a very, very, very even base. All right, so now we are going to bring the color and the, we're gonna bring the color and the dimension back to our face, all right? We don't want to walk around here looking flat. All right, so I am going in with the Dior Backstage Concealer. All right, and I'm just going to apply that right up under my eyes like that. And then I'm going to apply that right there, right there. And then I'm going to go in back in with a little bit more of that ColourPop concealer and put that right on the inner corner, okay? I would say that this ColourPop concealer is probably about 2 shades lighter, and this Dior is like 1 shade lighter. So mixing them up really helps it to where I'm not walking around walking around during the day with super, super bright concealer. Some people like that, but I found that this really like helps my makeup to not look so heavy, right? I don't want like a nighttime look, right? Still daytime. And I'm taking my concealer brush and I'm just patting that in. I'm bringing it out. Bringing it under my eye, or under my up to my bottom lid. I'm just applying that out, bringing it out, okay? And I'm doing the same thing right here. And right here on my chin. And I think I'm gonna add just a little bit, the tiniest bit right here. Brighten that up just a little bit. Now, I am not saying you have to do this, okay? What I would encourage you to do is go to the store and get a concealer that is between 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. And that's usually what, because you know, if you have brown skin like me, you're gonna have multiple tones on your face, right? The T-zone, the middle of your face is gonna be lighter than the perimeter of your face, all right? So you wanna get a shade of concealer that matches that, all right? I found that mixing these just, I don't know, I just like it. It works for me, but you don't have to do that. Totally unnecessary, all right? For everybody, all right? So I added that. Now I am going to do my contour. And again, I just use the ColourPop Deep 220C. And actually, I don't even think this is a contour shade. I think this is just a concealer, but it's like a darker concealer, right? So depending on your undertone, if you have warm undertones, you want to look for a color that's a little more warm, right? And when I say warm, it's going to have that orange red kind of tinge, right? If you have a more cool undertone, then you are going in, that's a whole nother video, all right? But yeah, I mean, when it comes to finding shades, I don't want you to stress out about that. Go to Ulta, go to a Sephora, and ask them to help you find your shade. Hey, can you help me find a contour shade in a contour shade in a concealer, all right? For in a liquid concealer. Can you help me find my highlight shade for my concealer, all right? Can you help me find my perfect foundation match? Go to a place where they will match it for you, all right? The Targets around me even have makeup consultants inside them. Sometimes it's matte consultants that can help you, all right? So just do that. Don't stress about what your color is. Okay, so for contour, I am going to put that right here. I'm going to literally do a dot because this stuff, it goes left real fast. I'm going to do just a dot right here, right up under my cheekbone. I'm going to do a dot right here, right on the corners of my forehead, because what I want to do is I want to make my forehead a little bit smaller. My forehead is, to me, a little bit big, all right? So what contouring does is it, you know, it pushes back. It creates like shadows. It features that are pronounced on your face, it kind of pushes them back. It softens them a little bit, right? So, for example, if I want to sharpen my jawline a little bit, I'm gonna put it just a dot right here. Like, I'm not going crazy, guys, all right? Not going crazy. I'm just adding a dot right there. And now I am going to take, so remember when I said that that set has every brush except for one? This is the extra brush that I got. So I got a slanted brush, and this is the Morphe. So this is a foundation brush too, though that's what they call it, but it's a slanted brush, and I particularly wanted a slanted brush, so I had to buy it separately because it didn't come in that kit. But I really like using a slanted brush when I am blending my contour. So I'm gonna take that brush, and again, technique, okay? Number one, make sure that you are holding your brush out on the tip of the brush, all right? So not too far inside, and I have to remind myself to do this, but it just makes the application even better, all right? So you are going to hold your brush from the outside, or the, the outside of the brush, and you are going to now So make sure that the, you know, it's a slant, right? That the tip is pointing down. We are going to start buffing that in. I'm patting it in, and I am now buffing up. All right. So I am now coming up my cheek. Up, 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 up. Don't worry about it. If you feel like it's too much or it's too harsh, we can fix it. We can fix it. We can really, really tone it down if we need to. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. But I am buffing that in. I'm going to come down to my jaw, and I'm buffing, I'm pressing up. I am pressing up, 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 up the cheek. I mean, up the jaw, up, 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 up. Okay. So remember I said, when I said that you only need a dot because it goes left fast. You see that line? It's okay. We're going to fix it. We are absolutely going to fix it. Okay. Same thing. I am buffing up, 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 up. All right, so that's a little bit better. Huh? That other side was a little bit harsh. See that? Yeah, we're gonna fix that, but this is kind of what I want it to look like. It gives me that, you know, that little bit of scope, right? That little bit of snatchness. Now I'm going to my forehead, and I am just warming up the corners of my forehead. And again, you see how I'm buffing that in. I'm pushing it up. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Buffing that in, and I'm pushing it up, all right? Where I think it went, for the places that I think it went overboard, I am now going to go back in with my foundation brush and just go around and on top of that, okay? See how it kind of like calms it down a little bit? Like tones it down just a little bit, okay? Just do that on this side as well so it don't be doing too much. And up here, I think it was a little much, okay? Okay. All right, cool. So now I am going to apply my blush. So I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush, and that's in the color Berry Well. Okay. And I'm just going to do a dot right here and then a dot right here. Okay. And now I'm going to take the cream and liquid blush brush from our brush set, and I am just going to, again, patting motion. All right, I am buffing that into my cheek. Okay. Okay, and now I'm doing the same thing on this side. We are patting and we're buffing that into the cheek, okay? All right, so now, if you're looking at me like, ooh, girl, that is bright. I'm going to now go back in with my foundation brush to clean it up, all right? So I'm toning it down a little bit with my foundation brush. Boom. Our foundation brush is our lifesaver, okay? Is our lifesaver. You can go back in with your foundation brush to tone that down a little bit. You can go back in with your concealer brush, because both of these brushes is gonna have all that extra product from, you know, doing your highlight and everything. But also another way that you'll tone down your blush a little bit is when you add your powder. So that is actually our next step. All right, we are going to now go in, we're going to set all of this. Okay, so So I'm going in with the OG Sasha Buttercup powder, all right, and a powder puff. And I'm just taking my powder puff, pressing that into the powder, and now I'm just going to use the top to get rid of a lot of that excess. So I'm not trying to like bake or nothing like that, okay? So I'm getting rid of that excess. Hold on, pause. This is so important. If there's creasing under your eye, all right, that's when, let's see if I can show it to you. When that product is settling into your eye, you have to make sure that you go back in with that concealer brush, all right? To press that product back into your skin. Because what you do not want to do is use powder to set that concealer, because it will not move. It will not move. And that concealer will be inside those creases until you wash your face, okay? So I'm going back in with my powder and I am pressing that in under my eye and I'm bringing it out, okay? Okay. I'm doing the same thing over here. Pressing it in under my eye and I'm bringing it out. And I'm also putting that on top of my eyelid too. All right. Pressing that into the eyelid. Pressing that into the eyelid. Pressing that into my chin. Pressing that into my forehead. Everywhere we put concealer, okay? Everywhere that I put concealer, I am adding that powder. This powder brightens and it also locks makeup in place. And now I am going to now finish my face with setting powder. I mean with my finishing powder, and I use the MAC Skin Finish, Mineralized Skin Finish, and I am just taking my powder brush from my set, getting out product and pressing that into my skin, and this is going to just set everything all over, okay? All right, so that's our face. Okay, so now we are going to do our eyes. Okay, so I am using the Des Nudes palette from Alamar Cosmetics. Oh my God, this is my favorite palette. This is my favorite palette. The shimmers are beautiful, and y'all gonna see when I put this on my eyes. Y'all gonna see. They are so pretty. So we are going to start with our eye blender, the eye blender brush. So it's kind of like fluffy at the top, right? And I'm just gonna go in with the shade that's closest to my skin tone, this little brown shade right here. I'm going to press that into the product, and I'm going to now begin to press it into my eye, my crease. So I'm going in with some more, press that into my crease, and remember to make sure you're holding the outside of the brush, and then just buff that in, okay? Windshield wiper motions. So I'm doing windshield wiper motions. I'm also doing some these circular motions. All right. Just like that. No, now I'm going to take the eye detail precision brush. All right, it's more like a pointed brush. And I'm going to put that into the darkest shade, this dark brown shade. Okay, and I'm going to add that to the outer corner of my eye. And right now I'm literally just like pressing it into the outer corner, doing some little circular motions. So now I'm going to go back with my eye blender and I am going to do those small circular motions to blend that out. I'm blending it, I'm buffing it. Okay. Right, and I'm gonna do that on this side as well. All right, so now we are going to go in with our packer brush, it's eye packer brush. All right, I am going to use Alama Gamela. It's this little white, it's like a white, but it's like, it has like a pink and gold, it's like a pink and gold kind of duochrome tone. So I am using my brush to bring that down like that. And then I am going to take my setting spray and I'm going to spray it, just spray the brush because I want to really lock that in so we don't have a lot of fallout. And I am just going to apply it just this way. Almost. Now this is where we're going to like brush. Okay. Going in with more product. Brushing it on just like that. Now I'm just gonna go back with my little blending brush and just kind of sweep across so that I can just catch any shimmer that traveled up. All right. Now I'm going to go back with my eye detail brush, the little pointer brush, and just go back over that a little bit just so that it can be nice and blended and like a nice little gradient. So we don't cover up that dark outer corner, okay? Now I am going to do my eyeliner, and mine is like the Essence Super Precise eyeliner. You can get this from Target, you can get this from Ulta, and this thing was like $4 or something like that. And I'm going to apply my eyeliner. And I'm just doing a very, oh my God. Oh, God, this brush is amazing. It is so small. It's so skinny. Wow. And I need it for my little eyes. Wow, that was so easy. If you have small eyes and small eyelids, get the Essence Super Precise eyeliner. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. I think that's the quickest I've ever put on eyeliner. What the? This is my first time using this. Highly recommend. Essence Super Precise eyeliner. Highly recommend. That was the quickest I've ever put on eyeliner. All right. Next, I am going to do my bottom liner, and I just use a black pencil. All right. Okay, so before I put on my lashes, I'm gonna put my lip on. All right. So I'm just gonna take a brown lip liner and just outline the outside of my lips. So for me, we kind of already have a natural lip line, the brown, so I'm just gonna follow that. I want a little over. Okay. Okay. And now I'm gonna be using the Milani Stay Put Liquid Lip in the shade The Moment. And now I'm just gonna use my lips to blend that in. So I'm just doing this to create like a little gradient, right? Like that. And then I'm just going to take the Axel Beauty, shout out to Axel Makeup Academy, lip gloss in the color Bombshell, and just add that right in the middle. Okay, so now I'm gonna just put on my lashes really quick. I am wearing the Superior Lash from Revel Lashes. This is my lash line that are created specifically for small eyes. So I'm gonna put those on, then I'll be right back. All right, lashes are on, face is done. So now I'm just gonna finish off with some setting spray. And while that's drying, I use the NYX Bear With Me Prime Set Refresh. Love this stuff. And that is the finished look. What do you guys think?